Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you I'm a legend. From YO to the Veil to the Mongo spot on Creston. Always been 1,000, never ever been a lame. Lay a nigga down for these 3 letters on my chain.
You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Tales from the Hood vlog series, man. Stop what you're doing right now. Go stream it, download all of my music. Go run me up. Go snatch up the whole catalog. It's nothing but fire. Everything is available on all digital streaming platforms. I appreciate every single stream and every single download, all right? With that being said, I also need you to follow my new Instagram at RealJHood_. If at any point, right, you guys ever want to donate to the channel, first and foremost, everything would be greatly appreciated. It don't matter what it is. The PayPal is also located at the bottom right-hand corner of this video. And on top of that should be my @name that you can follow, right? So follow me on Instagram. And like I said, if you want to donate to the channel, the information is located at the bottom of this video, all right? With that being said, let's get right into today's episode. So what we're going to talk about today is the time that Sheek asked me why I singled him out during the whole ordeal that we was going through, right? All right, let's get into it. So a lot of episodes ago, I kind of elaborated on the fact that I got to sit down with the Locks individually a while ago and apologize for my part that I played in our whole back and forth, right? All right, so during those conversations, obviously, I sat down with Sheek. That conversation was very interesting, right? For the simple fact that, you know, he asked me, you know, sincerely, he like, look, man, I just felt like you tried to single me out through the whole shit. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like you was really gunning for me, which he had every right to feel because he was actually right. You know what I mean? I did, like, come for him originally. No rainbow. When I first asked to be released, I put that in the statement that I released. I said, listen, I have absolutely no problems with Kiss. I have no problems with Styles. My issue was with Sheek. You know what I mean? So I made that very clear. It just boiled into something else. But I basically told him, I'm like, listen, bro, like, the public doesn't know certain things that we know behind closed doors. Like, for instance, I know that you own D Block. I know that you're the sole owner of it. You know what I mean? I know that you had the last say so when it comes to this D Block shit on the business side of things. I feel like when it was time for people to put the pressure on Koch to make sure that they was doing what they were supposed to do as far as for my project, that pressure wasn't applied by you. But when it was time for your project to come out, you made sure you did what you had to do to make sure that they was doing their thing and getting things done. But that same energy wasn't put into my project. I also told him that you was the person that had that conversation with my mother on Lake Avenue and told her that you promised that you would make sure everything goes right with me as far as the paperwork, as far as you looking after me, as far as everything. And she took your word for it and was like, okay, I'm gonna let my son run with y'all because of the conversation that we having. It was you who was the reason that me being released and getting out of my contract was prolonged because you didn't want to let me out the contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, P was okay with doing it. You really was the one that didn't really want to do it. On top of that, I'm like, yo, bro, you was attempting to defame my character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was throwing salt on my name, putting, like, false stories out there for people to break down and, you know, interpret in their own ways. Like, he said some shit about my mom's husband touching me and all that when that was completely false. He knew exactly what happened with that. We got in a fight, like I told you on another episode, and I went to go get them, and they came back to the crib, and they was about to beat him up. But instead of saying that, you said some crazy shit like the nigga tried to touch my body on some funny shit because you knew how the internet would eat that up and how they will react to hearing something like that. They would come up with their own, you know, like I said, interpretations and try to flip it on some other shit and try to think that shit was funny, but that shit wasn't funny. So I told him that, you know, and I also told him, I'm like, yo, bro, it's like, it's just a lot of things, man. But for the most part, those was the main reasons, right? And then I'm like, on top of that, when the $60,000 check got cut on behalf of me, you was one of the only people that could sign off on that, right? So it was a number of different reasons why I singled you out. You feel me? Like, and I feel like I had every right to single you out. Not saying that I went about it in the correct fashion, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? And I also told him that you could tell that I'm sincere about everything that I'm saying to you because it took me this long to come and check y'all. You know what I mean? Like, because for a while, I really felt in my heart and in my mind that I wasn't wrong at all. Like, like in my mind, I'm like, yo, it doesn't matter if I'm fucking, if I'm not totally right or whatever. These guys are older than me, so, you know, they should be the ones to take some accountability. But after a while, I'm like, you know what? It's not about pointing fingers. It's not about placing blame or none of that. Let me own up and take accountability for my part. You know, like I said, that I played in this shit. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go down there and holler at them. So that's what made me go check niggas. I also got tired of walking around with that black cloud over my head, you know, having people think of me in a certain light and I'm not the way that they think I am. You know what I mean? Like, that shit wasn't cool. And on top of that, it was just like me dealing with a whole bunch of shit too. I'm like, man, it's kind of difficult for me to move the way I want to move out here because of the stigma that's placed on my name. You feel me? Like, and that's what happens when you go against people that's bigger than you in the industry, whether you right or wrong. So I basically had to explain that to him. And he got it for the most part, even though I didn't really get to say every single thing that I wanted to say to him as far as, you know, giving him reasoning. But I got to the meat of it, you know, no funny shit. And we shook on it, told each other we love each other, and, you know, we went our separate ways. But that's what happened with that conversation. I'm not going to get into the whole thing because there's still other things I could talk about right now. But for the most part, that's it. So I need you to like this video. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you check out my last video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video. Follow me on Instagram at RealJHood_. And until next time, salute 3 times.